They're going to have to do it the hard way against a fairly committed Eels lineup that desperately need a win.
And speaking of the Eels, they make their way on to Wynn Stadium. Nathan Kalis, the captain, leading out the side. Michael Butner going through. And there he is, Nathan Kalis, the skipper. What a season he's having.
He certainly is. He's probably one of the youngest captains that the Eels have had in their short history, but very young player leading from the front, and he'll, of course, will be out to impress the New Zealand selectors with the test matches coming up very shortly.
Here come the Dragons, led out by their captain, also number 8, Craig Smith. Tremendous season he is having, and right behind him, Nathan Blacklock. Back in try-scoring form.
And hungry to grab tries at every opportunity. 4 tries in the last 3 games, but he's set up a couple of others, I can tell you. Just an amazing attacking player. One that I think that probably scares the defensive teams that he plays against and creates a lot of doubt every time that he runs with the football. Whilst we've got some good players on the field, both benches extremely talented tonight. Of course, we've seen late changes add a lot more ferocity to the bench. Ryan Smith had a couple of them, but I think it'll be a game that is played out between some very clever replacements from the coaches as well as talent on the football field.
Sean Hempstead, tonight's first grade referee. We're underway at Wynn Stadium. The Dragons defending the northern end. A pretty strong breeze at their backs. They're running left to right, I should say. And they'll have first touch of the football, 20 metres out from their own line. First penalty.
Straight away, what I was talking about.
Sean Hempstead, first penalty, first tackle. Trying to stamp his authority early. Trent Barrett finding touch. 25 out from their own line. Gasnier with the tap. Here comes Jason Riles. First hit up for him tonight. Thought he may have lost it. Referee said no. Thompson now comes up to the halfway line. And he's hurt. His first hit up. This could be a worry for the Dragons. Takes a bit to hurt Lance Thompson. As Andrew Hart's now tackled. In the short side, Craig Smith taking the ball forward. Got his arms free, but now they swarm in the Eels. He offloads to Hookie. He's a very sneaky one. And Hookie is tackled about 35 out. Now Barrett inside to Riles. Pushes away from Nathan Hindmarsh, but tackled there by Vella. Here's the last for the Dragons. Willie Peters puts the ball high. Hodgson under pressure. Barrett leaps early. Knocked down, 6 to go. Blacklock out the back. Hookie has to juggle it. Goes for the corner and is tackled. 6 to go, says the referee. And so the Dragons get another set through Andrew Hart. The captain, Smith, pushes away from one, still going. Can't get the ball down. The defence regroups. Irvine in there. Now it comes to Barrett. Ains goes on his shoulder. He gets it. Forced backwards though. Good defence, Michael Butner. Under pressure, the Eels. Peters. Ducking under there was Barrett. But the defence read it well. 8 metres out from the line. Dragons on the attack. Peters inside to Riles. Nice shot from Vella. The crowd didn't like it. Referee was right there and said it was okay. Last tackle. Peters on the ground this time. Will it go dead? Reagan watches it go over the dead ball line. Well done, Parramatta. Under pressure for the first couple of minutes. They get the ball now on their 20-metre line. 2.5 minutes of sustained pressure there from the Dragons. They held on to it well. Nathan Hindmarsh, solid tackle from Trent Barrett. Irvine from acting half. 5 metres short of the halfway line. Here goes Nathan Kalis over the halfway line by about 5 metres into Dragons territory. Sloppy play the ball. Here it comes to PJ Marsh. Yawning gap straight through. Fullback to beat. There's Butner. He'll go for the corner. He'll have the pace. And the Eels score with their first touch of the football. It's Parramatta 4. The Dragons 0 with a kick to come.
And Brett Kenny spoke about the value of PJ Marsh prior to kickoff. The decision to replace Jason Taylor was a surprise one, but it's immediately paid off. Just have a look. He targets the bigger forwards, runs in between them, leaves them with absolutely no hope, but great support play from Michael Buettner. He doesn't get the credit for the speed that he's got on board, but there's got to be a lot of credit given there to the two rucks that came from the tap play, from the restart. It gained them 25 metres.
Well, it certainly didn't, and this is why this kid is in the position he's in. He's got a lot of speed, a lot of pace, a very good step, and as you said, he picked the big men to work around. He's not frightened to take it to the line. Great little step inside and well backed up by Michael Buettner.
His second try for the season for Michael Buettner. 84 career tries. 19 metres out, this conversion attempt on the far side of Wynn Stadium. Brett Hodgson. 2 from 2 last week. His only goals of the season. 2 goals for the season, 2 from 2 for the year. This is a tough one from touch. It was an enormous effort defensively in the first 2.5 minutes to keep the Dragons out for 2 sets. The first touch of the ball, the Eels have scored. Struck it pretty well. It's not coming around though. Stays out to the right. So the score remains at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. The Eels 4, the Dragons 0. And they couldn't have asked for a better start.
No, they really soak up that pressure tight on their own line. We can't give enough credit to the way that they restarted. Kick from the St George Illawarra Dragons, just dribbling 2 or 3 metres too far. Going dead in goal gave them the chance. And Nathan Hindmarsh, one of his charges, picked up 15 metres alone. Put the Eels on the front foot.
Here they come back now. The Eels 15 metres out from their own line. Now it comes to Vella. Vella's lost it, stripped.
There was a hand. There was a hand. You took the ball. Yeah, no, I'm not. Well, he still grabbed the ball and he stripped it. Yeah, you got a penalty? You got a penalty?
Michael
Hey,
Vella
Phil, stab me on the kicker.
still having words to say.
Touch us, Phil, touch us.
He did strip it. It's just a matter of whether he was actually one-on-one at the time or the second player had joined the tackle.
St George Illawarra player in back play in trouble. It's Craig Smith. He's on the ground in all sorts of problems. They're 40 metres out. Another penalty.
Get off his arm. Get your hand. Wait. Wait on the wrong behind him.
Craig Smith in... It's not Craig Smith, in fact. It looks like maybe Riles.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of strife too, and the trainers have asked the referee. He took a very big knock. He went in, got his head in the wrong spot, and the tackle went down, gave it a fair bump, tried to sit up 2 or 3 seconds after, and he was in all sorts of strife. His balance obviously gone.
Andrew Hart, I think it is. Looking through there, is it?
Concussion a real problem for him.
It is Andrew Hart.
Early injury problems for the draw. He's in all sorts of strife. Just a matter of getting his head in the wrong spot, going into a tackle. Let's hope that he can fix himself up. You just see he had his head way in front. Didn't get time to either put his head to the left or to the right in the defence, but it stuck in the middle and caught a knee.
Here's the Eels, but now with their opportunity. Sean Hampstead very aggressive tonight with this penalty in the play the ball. The players will have to learn soon. And here they are, the Eels through Buettner. 22 metres out. Over on an acting half, PJ Marsh changing direction to Hodgson. He's looking for runners, still going, finds Wagon, comes to Hookie, tries to throw him away. And assistance there from Jason Hooper. Another penalty.
Too long. Matt. Wait on. Wait till the big one. Two hold them down, fellas. I told the captains there, hold them down. 2 blokes here.
Well, I don't think we've got any problem with this. The referee's going to follow through as long as he shows the same discipline in the 79th minute as he does in the beginning of the game.
Andrew Ryan now is tackled, 19 metres out. PJ Marsh. Here's Irvine. He's 5 metres out. Can they put more points on the board here, the Eels? There's maybe an opportunity for another penalty. Vella. Craig Smith going in very strongly. Hempstead over the ruck. They're 5 metres out, the Eels. Opportunity again. Hodson to Butner. Numbers here. He goes himself. And the defence forces him back. Lance Thompson in there. So too Darren Tracy. Now Kalis looking for runners. Goes himself almost through out the other side. And Craig Smith came up with a tackle. Last one. PJ Marsh into the in-goal area. Amos Roberts had to take it and can't bring the ball back into the field of play. And so it's a goal line dropout.
Yeah, great control in the kicking game. As we saw the St George Illawarra team peppering the Parramatta try line right from the kickoff. The kick that was just a little too hard allowed them out of the place, but great control being shown by PJ Marsh. He's had a great start to the game. His involvement really has been, I think, the point that has shown exactly the job that Brian Smith has asked him to do.
Here's the Eels on the attack once again. 32 metres out from the Dragons line. Now it comes to Hindmarsh. That's Nathan. Thompson there making the tackle with Craig Smith. Irvine from acting half. Runs at Bartram. Makes the tackle. They're 20 metres out. Referee calling to Bartram to get off. He does so now. Andrew Ryan. Irvine has lost a boot. Now it comes to Kalis. Back to Hodson. Hodson running across field. Now's the link up with Irvine, who just got his boot back in time. You see him kicking his leg there, trying to get some feeling in the foot. Now it comes to Ryan. Steps around Bartram quite easily. Last tackle here for the Eels. They're 5 metres out. Crossfield bomb, not the best. The breeze blowing it back. Well taken, Gasnier. And so the Dragons finally get the football. Tracy goes the blindside on his own. And straight there at Pat Richards. Almost got away. Assistance from Ian Hindmarsh. Thompson. Straight there at Irvine. Here's Riles up the middle of the ruck. They're 35 out from their own line. They trail by 6, the Dragons. Now it comes to Barrett for the kick, stepping inside PJ Marsh, charge down. Here's a chance. He's offside Marsh, but Hindmarsh can pick it up. He gets away from Willie Peters. The cover comes in Ainscoe and brings him to ground, and Barrett is back there as well. They're in disarray, the Dragons. Kalis are offside, referee playing advantage. They're 5 metres out from the line. They play the ball. Here it comes to PJ Marsh, throwing the dummy. Can't tuck under Smith, who makes a very good tackle. Big man on little man, 9 out. Short side to Ryan. Support there, goes himself. 10 metres in from touch. It comes to PJ Marsh. Butner into a yawning gap, closed by Tracy, knocked down by Gasnier. And so the Eels will get another set of 6 should they win the scrum, which you'd expect they would.
Well, that was quite a good, entertaining set of 6 by the Eels there. You'd like to think with a second consecutive set. It all started with this charge down. Nathan Hindmarsh. PJ Marsh did very well there. Would have been very tempting to pick that ball up. But Hindmarsh a little unlucky not to go over for the 4-pointer, but they played that set of 6 out very well. They'll get the second consecutive set here. And you'd like to think now that they would be able to get over for at least 4 points.
Barrett receiving attention there for the Dragons. Back on his feet. Wagon now. Barrett makes the tackle. They're 10 metres out, the Eels. Big defensive effort needed here from the Dragons. As their coach Andrew Farrar said, the defence is going to be the key. They buckled early. He's lost the ball penalty.
No way in the world. No way in the world. Pull him down.
He's certainly voicing his authority in there. Making sure he's the dominant partner in the tackle. The choice made to shoot for goal.
Here comes Trent Barrett to speak to him.
they're in a state of confusion at the moment. The Dragons, they're just trying to work out what that they can possibly come up with. Where's your brain wind up? That one you can understand why the big fellas are a little bit upset about it. And they've got one of the best credentialed trainers to relay messages in the game. Nathan Brown, their former skipper, probably giving his former teammates a bit of a pep talk at the same time. Maybe even throwing in a few extra than their skipper has asked him to relay.
Here's Hodgson. 15 metres out. He's already kicked one. Can he make it two? He does. Straight between the posts. And so the Eels.
St George Illawarra.
Mark, I don't think the Dragons would have been too disappointed that the Eels decided to take the 2 points there. I've got to say it's probably testimony to the Dragons' defence in that last 5 minutes. They defended very stoutly.
Back in like Craig, so keep talking your forwards.
There you go.
Stay on the kicker.
He's not going to back down. Let's hope he doesn't.
You have to ask then, Brett, whether someone will go to the bin.
Well, that's got to be the question, hasn't it? I mean, he's been very tough on it.
Well, my point is he said he's not going to back down tonight. I mean, he has every other one. Anyway, I think everybody would agree that if they can keep it up and there's an open game of football, then everyone's going to be happy.
That ball was played forward accidentally. Lucky not to be pulled back. Now it comes to PJ Marsh at acting half. 6-0 the score. Buettner at acting half. Tracy coming around very quickly. Lucky not to be penalised. Ian Hindmarsh now. 30 up from his own line. Play the ball back to Vella. 15 metres short of the halfway line. Last tackle. BJ Marsh, they're going to run it. Hindmarsh on the outside to line. Kick there from Pat Richards. Goes nicely for Amos Roberts. Comes back to the 30-metre line before being tackled. Ainscough from acting half. Richards with the tackle. Winger on winger. Far side of Wynn Stadium. Breeze at the back of the Dragons in the first half has dropped in the last half hour or so. Earlier it was very, very windy. Not so much now. Bartram. The Dragons fans looking for a penalty, not forthcoming, as Craig Smith goes forward. Peters from acting half. Tackle made there by Andrew Ryan. Last tackle here for the Dragons. They're 30 out. Barrett with the kick. Hodgson underneath it. 5 out from his own line. Flying through there and losing the ball was Hooper. It goes back. Hookie has picked it up, I should say, and he looks to have scored. He has. Well, Jason Hooper has flown through the air. The bounce of the ball favoured the Dragons, and Lee Hookie was on the spot to pick it up and open the Dragons scoring.
Well, difficult to find fault with the Eels' defence in a situation like this. Hodgson was standing under the ball. It was just a great jump, wasn't it? Hooper put his body on the line. He landed flat on his belly too. He didn't feel too good. A couple of seconds later, if there was any fault, I suppose there may be a little bit more desperation shown by the Eels to get back there and clean up.
Yeah, that was probably their biggest mistake, was they didn't have enough players there surrounding Hodgson, but a great hoop. It was a great leap by Hooper and had the smartness to be able to release the football. He knew it was the last tackle. Well done by Hookie there to go over for the 4-pointer.
It was like he was leaping off the 10-metre platform at the Olympics. He just
it was great work because he had to. He had to go up and contest it. Otherwise, it would have been quite a simple catch to Hodgson. It was very well shepherded.
The thing about it too was that he realised that he was a long way away from the football. He didn't have time to take another 2 or 3 steps. He had to leave the ground when he did. And because he did that, they were able to come up with a 4-pointer. You would assume soon to be 6.
Wayne Bartram with the conversion attempt. He's hit the upright.
You should never assume, Mark.
No. So Wayne Bartram with his first attempt, unsuccessful. And there's 2 points the difference in Wollongong. The Eels lead by 6 points to 4. Phillip there for the Dragons after they've been under enormous pressure. The first 17.5 minutes of this game. And finally get on the scoreboard. Awkward kick-off there for Barrett to take. He does well. Finds Riles. Here's Gasnier from acting half. Penalty.
Didn't come back to me. Didn't come back. Didn't come back.
Now the penalty starting to go the way of the Dragons, which will even up the possession. Although it's 4-2 against them, finally the Dragons are starting to see the football.
Eels dominating 64%, and they only lead by 2. Riles will play the ball now for St George Illawarra. Thompson, Craig Smith, back up the middle of the ruck. Here's Tracy from acting half. Kalis made the tackle. Now it comes to Barrett. Ball in his hands, just showing it, always a danger. 10 metres out from the line. Bartram to Craig Smith, he's lost the ball, and the Eels have come up with possession. As we're about to see a change, Jason Kalis coming on for the Eels shortly, as they try and work the ball out from their own goal line. Moody. Bartram in there to assist with the tackle. Irvine at acting half. Good run from Ryan. Stepping off the right foot. Coming back up the centre of the ruck. Kalis with the kick. PJ Marsh couldn't get through, and Hooper read it well. They often see that. Front row forward putting the boot to the ball. Particularly inside their own half.
Yeah, I think that was the point that will probably have Brian Smith reminding one of his more experienced players that you don't go using a grubber kick 28 metres out from your own line.
Gives the Dragons possession in good field position. Gasnier from acting half gets away from one. Can't get away from Butner though, who makes the tackle. Tracy once again from acting half. Kick for Ainscough, not a good one. Hodson picks it up, only has Gasnier to beat, and there was open space in front of him. There's another kick I think the coach won't be too happy with. The Eels now 20 out from their own line. Tracy getting a head start from Marker again. Wasn't standing square on, I didn't think. I don't count. The referee thought it was all right. Kalis plays it. Here's Marsh. Ryan, cut out ball. Wagon on the outside there of Blacklock. Now he finds Moody. Hookie in cover and gets him. 30 out from the Dragons line. Last tackle here for the Eels. Wagon acting half. PJ Marsh kicks for the corner. Blacklock goes back. Brings it back towards the field of play before meeting the kicker. Here goes Amos Roberts. Jigging around, nowhere to go. There's a very good run. The Dragons starting a little bit of momentum, courtesy of Riles there. Followed up by Craig Smith. 2 good runs back to back. The front rowers, and that hurt him. Thompson. Straight at Butner, who makes the tackle. That's the halfway line. You can see he plays the ball on as Craig Smith still on the ground receiving treatment. Billy Peters with the kick. Moody goes back and grabs it. 10 out from his own line, meets the defence, almost through. Helped by a teammate, I thought. He's got support on his outside. 10 short of the halfway line as Craig Smith comes from the field. We'll go to the blood bin. He's got blood there as PJ Marsh turns the ball back inside to Jason Kalis. Back then to Irvine. Andrew Ryan goes forward. There's players all over the place at the moment. And he plays the ball. They come the blind side. This is Hindmarsh. Nathan tries to push away. Does. Armstrong. Moody had a look at the defence in front of him and lost the ball. Lightvoll was there. A wasted opportunity for the Eels.
Yeah, lucky they had Likewell standing out on the wing there on that occasion. Locked up what could have been a very dangerous situation. Craig Smith, we've just been giving him a pat on the back for the way that he attacked with that great run. Certainly plenty of commitment shown, but he ran head first straight into Nathan Kalis, and I can tell you Kalis didn't come out of it too well either. He got off the ground like a WCW wrestler. Started shaking the melon around, but unfortunately his has stayed up.
20 metres out from their own line, Lance Thompson right in centre field. The Dragons only trail by 2. Hardly had any ball tonight. There's Riddell on the field. Tracy will play it. 32 out from his own line. Trying to milk the penalty. Not forthcoming. Here's Billy Peters now. Trying to find the gap that PJ Marsh found earlier in the game for the Eels. Barrett. Here's the kick. It's an early. It's a good one too. Just inside the corner post. The touch judge hasn't put the flag up yet. Now he does. Great kick, Trent Barrett. Should be a 40-20.
And he got the call off the referee. He was running down there. I don't think he was all that sure about it. The touch judge at the touch post in that corner was leaning back on an angle. Didn't give him the best view to see whether it crossed or not, but the referee gave him.
He's giving the feed to Parramatta. He said outside the 40.
No, don't be so slow. Is that right? Both players, come here. Come here. Right, I'm not going to handle that. He's come down too fast. There's no need for you to start pushing and carrying on. The penalty's going against you. Cut it out and play the baseball goal. Yeah.
He's in the mood tonight, Sean Hampstead. Be a bit of feeling in this set of 6, so he referees over the ruck. He's going to be pushed out, Hindmarsh, is he? Yes.
There's a little bit of feeling in this match.
Over here.
This could be a problem, Mark. You want to hope the referee doesn't lose control of this. I think the Dragons too, they've got to start to...
Righto, fellas. Just stand apart, fellas. Go down nice.
There was plenty of commitment in it, wasn't there? You just see the man that decided to get his shoulders involved. He did plenty of work, Riddell in there as well. The golden opportunity for the Dragons with 15 left.
Gaznia steps off the left, but the defence read it well. Now they'll try and force him towards touch. And he stays in. Here's Tracy. 31 metres out from the Parramatta line. The Dragons on the attack through Riles. Solid defence in the middle of the field. Willie Peters now. Barrett. Good ball there to Hooper. 20 metres out from the line. The Dragons trying to breach this defence. Barrett running across field. Throws it to nobody. Bounces nicely though for Tracy. He loses it. He does well to get it back to Barrett. Ducks under one but can't get away from Jason Kalis. Last tackle here for the Dragons and Barrett's playing the ball, so it's up to Peters. He puts it high. Not a great kick. Amos is there, knocks it forward. And Jason Moody comes up with possession. A disorganised set of 6 there for the Dragons.
Well, it certainly was, and you can see what happens when Trent Barrett gets caught with the football on the last. There was no organisation there. Lack of communication as far as the Dragons were concerned with that kick.
Pat Richards plays it for the Eels. And once again, Darren Tracy around from marker. He's got to wait for the ball to clear the ruck. And that's 3 times, and I reckon he's been offside every time. Kalis. Here's PJ Marsh with Daniel Wagon. Blacklock in front of him. Barrett playing on the wing at the moment. Last tackle here for the Eels. PJ Marsh, little chip, it's on. But well read, I should say, from Lance Thompson by the redhead. And he's tackled. Still pushing and fighting, trying to make his way forward. Looking for a penalty there. Now Riddell from acting half. Gets to the 40-metre line. The crowd wanting a penalty for inside the 10. Here's Lightfold. Barrett. Ball to Blacklock. Amos Robert wrapping around. Roberts is tackled. Here's Barrett again to Lightfold. Straight up the middle. Hindmarsh is there. He's lost the ball. It's on the ground. Parramatta have lost it forward as well. Should be knock on both ways. It is now.
Same speed. Same speed. Same speed.
Well, I don't know where they've got that from. I mean, if anything, if Parramatta knocked the ball, it's gone backwards.
I thought there was a knock-on from Parramatta, but I thought the first one was St George Illawarra.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're saying that Parramatta knocked the ball away from the St George player.
Anyway, the Dragons have possession through Lance Thompson. 17 out from the Eels line. They only trail by 2. Another penalty.
Too long. I gave you 2 in a row. Jam your line, hands up. All right, go captains, come in. Go captains. Go captains. Both captains, Craig Smith. Clean, you captain.
Nathan Kalis taking his time to get across. Lance Thompson there with Sean Hampstead.
Right, you went at the toss, I'll tell you now. Nathan was at the toss. I told you at the toss, no more holding down. We've had a number of penalties for it, there's going to be no more. If it keeps on going, I'll take further action, which include the sin bin, right? Could include the sin bin. Going back, it's going both ways.
Oh, well, there's certainly authority out there in the field. Players aren't too happy about it. I've been plenty of speed traps on the way down. I wonder if he's picked up a speeding ticket.
Well, Mark Riddell has kicked the ball back 15 metres, they're now 30 metres out.
I can't understand why he kicked the ball backwards. They've lost, as I say, they're now out, they're 30 metres out. Just makes it harder to get across the try line.
Well, they're 20 metres out now and they've had 2 tackles.
They haven't got back to where they started.
Barrett still going as he lost it. Well, the Eels this time will get the loosened feed. 11 to go until half-time.
Barrett did that very well. Angle across the football field. He ran into Hindmarsh, got a wonderful right-handed fend going.
There's the kick for touch. 15 out.
A bigger hook than he thought.
Now, if you work that out, Trent Barrett may have scored.
He may have also been in the dressing room. Never seen a kick that far back from 15 out before. Now the Eels. Richards plays it. Here's Kalis, the taller of the 2 Kalises, playing it. Jason. And Moody from acting half. Blacklock there, staying away from touch. Brad Drew on the field. Returning from injury. He had a great start to the season. And welcome him back, the Eels. Line ball to Nathan Kalis. Referee says play on. Last tackle here for the Eels. Another sloppy play, the ball, and he's penalised the Dragons.
Hang it on to him. He can't play the ball. He can't play the ball because you're hanging on to him. Wait. He couldn't play the ball because he was hanging on to him. That's why he couldn't play the ball. Right, there you go.
Well, Lance Thompson would love to see the penalty count. I can tell him. And it's 6-3. There they are, 6-3. Only 9 penalties. Someone's got to go to the bin shortly. Kalis. At the back to Hodgson. Accelerates through the gap. And now he's lost the ball. Amos Roberts has come up with it. In 2 sets, we've had Trent Barrett down one end and Brett Hodgson the other. Just lose the football. Solid tackle there on Hooper. And Nathan Hindmarsh. Here's Lightfold. Solid defence again. He fell awkwardly into that tackle and is feeling it. It's Lance Thompson. See the redhead just sticking out there. Riddell from acting half. He's running forward, just short of the halfway line. Last tackle here for the Dragons. Barrett with a little chip straight into Kalis. Goes back to Roberts. Didn't play at it. Still last tackle. Lightbowl's got a kick and gets hit after he kicks. Moody picks it up. Was almost corralled there by Blacklock. Still running. Thompson grabs him by the shorts and Blacklock comes again with Peters. Extraordinary first 40 minutes. David Solomona, head down, straight forward.
It is an extraordinary first period, but I think it's very important that the captains get hold of their teams. They've got to start concentrating again. There's too much panic football going on.
Brad Drew from acting half. I reckon the next bloke to give a penalty away and to play the ball will go to the sin bin. Jamie Lyon away from one. What a ball out the back to Pat Richards. Tracy to beat. Back on the inside to Andrew Ryan. And Amos Roberts makes the tackle. 9 metres out from the line. Solomona now for the Eels. The pass comes to Brad Drew. He's taken without the ball.
It was high. Right, keep him down. Right. You're tackling too early.
Going to take the two. Well, he did say tackling too early, but he was talking to himself. He never said it to the player, and the player being Lee Hookey.
Well, they look like they're going to concede 2 points here, the Dragons, but I've got to say, there's a replay of the incident. I don't think there'd be too many people, even the most ardent St George Illawarra fan, that would say the penalty wasn't becoming from that incident. We've got to give a pat on the back on that occasion to Darren Tracy. He saved an absolute certain 4-pointer on the far wing. It was a wonderfully talented pass by Jamie Lyon. He got a ball, flicked it out the back, and it seemed to be a certain 4-pointer on the way. Opportunities like that have presented themselves on a couple of occasions throughout the course of this first 40-minute period. Sometimes the ball hits the turf, but when you get the opportunities, you can't afford to waste them.
15 out, Hodgson. He struck it pretty well. Another 2 points to the Parramatta Eels. They lead by 4 with 6.5 to play until half-time. It's the Eels 8, the Dragons 4.
And we're getting into the danger period of the game at the moment. It's the last 6 minutes before half-time. A little bit of fatigue starts to set in. Players are getting a bit tired. This is where the little men have got to start to take over.
And we go to that period that Brett spoke about before the game, where the Eels have conceded a few points. We're straight after the break. It will be a very interesting period. That's the danger period for Parramatta.
That's the other thing. I mean, they're leading by 4 points, and you've got to say that looking at their history, 4 points is not a big enough margin to come back out into the second half with.
Lost the ball. I'm getting them off. Bible, I'm getting them off. Don't come barking at me. Don't come barking at me. Yeah, I'm doing it.
Certainly got his hands full tonight, Sean Hampstead.
There you go. Let it out.
They've won at the Dragons. Barrett. Here's Hookey. Hookey's tackled 22 metres out from the Eels line. 5 out from half-time. 5.5 out. 20 metres out from the line. The Dragons through Thompson. Kick in goal. Chases on. Hodgson watches him go to the dead ball line. Just too much on it there from Jamie Fitzgerald.
Pretty keen to try and score that try. Patience isn't exactly a great part of either team's game plan at the moment. They're going to have to make alterations to that if they want to stay in the contest.
Here come the Eels, 5 metres short of the halfway line. 4-point lead, approaching half-time inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. Solomona can't get away from Lightfoot, but does get the ball away to PJ Marsh. Butner back up the middle. Tracy there to make the tackle. Watch him here at marker. Now it comes back to Hindmarsh. Pushing away from tackles. Jamie Fitzgerald there. Brings him to ground. 29 metres out. Acting half Brad Drew. Running across field. Links up there. PJ Marsh looking for runners. Was he going to run? Kick? Pass? Decides to take the tackle himself. Here's the last for the Eels. Hodson now with the kick. Where's that gone? Blacklock takes it easy in the in-goal area. And above the grandstand here at Wynn Stadium. Not the best effort there from Brett Hodson. .25 out, the Dragons. Trying to work the ball downfield. Fitzgerald. Now Thompson's lost it. Well, this could prove very costly for the Dragons. 3 out from half-time and giving the Eels possession.
Yeah, I don't think he's real flash, Thompson. He's usually a guy that gives his best on every occasion. And from the moment that ball was passed on the way to him, he didn't look like he was even interested in carting the ball forward. These are the rucks. Had a little bit of a peep up in front, but they're the rucks that you need to do some good, hard, determined work to gain some sort of field position to get a good kicking game from.
Jamie Lyon tackled 20 metres out. They've lost the ball.
I tell you, mate, you've got to start to question whether there is something wrong with the football, because we've seen the ball coughed up on a number of occasions, and occasions where the tackle hasn't been all that heavy either.
Solid tackle there on Lance Thompson. And they breathed a sigh of release, the Dragons. Riddell from acting half. Solomona back slams him. Slowing him down a little bit there. Barrett, forward pass. A metre. Because they got one there, the Dragons. Fitzgerald. Barrett. Intercepted. What goes around comes around. Here's Vella straight over the top there. Mark Riddell. PJ Marsh, Solomona. Back on the inside to Moody. Referee calling it Lance Thompson offside. So he had to stay out of play. Unless if he didn't, he would be penalised. Jason Kalis offloads back to PJ Marsh. He accelerates, beats one, still going, back to line, basketball pass over to Butner, keeps it alive to Hodson, 6 to go, try. Just before half-time, the Eels have scored a crushing blow. 12-4 with a kick to come.
A little bit of loose handling from the St George Illawarra Dragons, providing an opportunity. But their work from dummy half has been very clever. A clever offload on that occasion. Ran into Darren Tracy's tackle before it was flicked out. Just have a look at the ball skills. There was the one that was touched. It went straight to Butner. Not enough room to work with at the back. They knew it was desperate stakes.
Well, they certainly did, and it all started from a bad pass back on the inside by Trent Barrett. Turned over the possession to the Eels, but it was that man again, young PJ Marsh, started the movement, and great ball skills and great ball handling by the Eels in scoring that try.
He's been very heavily involved, PJ Marsh. Started the game. Just joined us in place of Jason Taylor. And had an immediate impact with a try in the first 4 minutes.
And again, Mark, we've seen a try scored inside the last 5 minutes of the first half.
Yep, this will take us to half-time. Brett Hodson trying to convert his own try. As the siren goes in the background. And so he stops. I wonder whether that siren would have gone off. It would have been Wayne Bartram having a shot. I'm sure it would. It's home ground advantage anyway. He's back. Inside the right-hand upright. And so an extra 2 points for the Parramatta Eels at Wynn Stadium. At half-time, it's a 10-point ball game. The Eels 14 lead St George Illawarra 4. got to fill up for the Eels as they go into half-time. Just that try just before the break will give them a huge boost, but this first 20 minutes of the second half will be very important as the Dragons head towards their dressing rooms down at the southern end of the stadium. On the other side of the coin, they'll be very disappointing about allowing that try just before the break. Half-time here at Wynn Stadium, 14-4, the Eels over the Dragons. A break, and we'll come back and look at the first 40 minutes. And back here at the Wynn Stadium in Wollongong, the St George Illawarra Dragons, coach Andrew Farah speaking there, Trent Barrett getting his point across as well as the Dragons trail by 10. Very important 40 minutes for both clubs. There's Brian Smith just leaving the Eels dressing room. Brad Drew in the middle there kicking the ball. Nathan Kalis, final instructions before they come back. Jason Moody coming forward as well. Brian Smith putting the jacket on. The St George Illawarra Dragons cheerleaders with the American visitors behind them. What a display that was at half-time. Throwing some of those girls up in the air like you wouldn't believe. The heights achieved were amazing.
Once again, the commitment being made in the Dragons dressing room, and I'm sure their coach Andrew Farah will be quite hopeful that will be carried out a little bit better throughout the second half.
We're great because surprisingly Michael Buettner with 13 tackles and 4 hit-ups, of course, come up with a 4-pointer in that first half, so he has had a very exciting first half performance. Hooper leading the way for the Dragons with 15 tackles. They've sort of shared the tackles throughout the forwards there of the Dragons, but realistically I think both coaches would be very disappointed with the defensive area of the game, and don't be surprised to see a big improvement in both sides in the defence in this second 40 minutes.
I think the kicking games will be relied upon a little bit more as the Eels take to the field. They will be the ones with a slight advantage behind them in the second half. Of course, they won't have quite the accuracy in the kicking game that we've come to expect over the career of Jason Taylor. Plenty of other guys, I'm sure Buettner will play a part in it. PJ Marsh, his accuracy has been very good so far.
Here come the Dragons. Lance Thompson leading the side out. Craig Smith yet to return from that nasty head gash. Of course, Andrew Hart was not senseless in the first couple of minutes of the game. And he hasn't come back, so that could also play an important role as we get towards the final 10-15 minutes. Here's Sean Hampstead. 10 penalties in the first half. He averages 12 per game so far this season, so he has made his presence felt. If they don't keep listening, someone will go to the bin.
There it is. Issuing the direction to the players that he's not going to give up.
They'll stay on the kicker.
Penalties will continue throughout the second half.
We're underway, Wynn Stadium. Second 40 minutes, the Eels lead by 10. They have first use of the football, running left to right. And a solid tackle to start. And once again, a slowish play the ball as Jason Kalis plays it. Solomona brings it forward. Drew's at acting half. This is Michael Vella bouncing away from Leichvold. Now to ground, Thompson. Here's PJ Marsh. Solomona back towards the centre. Arms free, but the ball went forward. It was a tough pass to get away there in the first set of 6 after half-time.
Yeah, not what you wanted in your first set of 6. Your coach would have been talking about it at half-time. The players, as they took the field, would have been saying, let's work for good field position, get a good kick going. They would have been reminding each other of the importance of the chasing game. They haven't had to worry about that.
Hooper from the base of the scrum for the Dragons.
Up in top.
And straight there at Hodson, who makes the tackle. Thompson throws the dummy. Just as you mentioned before, Wally, just doesn't seem to have any spark. He was injured early in the game, so maybe still carrying that from the first couple of tackles, I think it was. Now Barrett stepping off the left. Solomona with a strong tackle. 29 metres out. Slow once again. Someone's got to go.
You just flopped over the top of him. You did.
Good call, Sean. Good call.
Well, I think it's the only way, Mike, that he's going to gain any sort of respect out in the football field from the players at the moment is to start putting players in the bin. Now, not too many people enjoy seeing it.
What's
But
that?
if it's going to give him what he wants,
David Solomon just flopped over the top of him. I'm not going to stand for it, right?
Jamie Lyon asked him the question there. I don't know why Sean Hampstead would answer him.
The thing was, you see it here, I can't see how he's saying he flopped over the top of him. He's just too long getting up. But Hampstead mentioned just before half-time that he'd had enough. Surely you would think, well, there's an opportunity now. Send the player to the sin bin. Maybe the players will then get the message.
Mark Riddell with the attempted penalty. Strikes it very well. They've narrowed the gap, the Dragons. It's now 8 the difference. The Eels 14, the Dragons 6.
well, let's see what they can bring back into the Dragons game. They've got the opportunity now to be able to go out and replay the way they wanted to start off this second 40-minute period. That has got to be controlled aggression, making sure that they target very well. Brett was talking about before that Michael Butner was the leading tackler for the Eels. I think that's because the Dragons players were running on the edge of the ruck. They've got to make sure that they continue that, perhaps even use it a little bit better. Try and pick out PJ Marsh.
Here's Thompson bringing the ball back. Solomon bounces away. News from downstairs. Craig Smith will be coming back very shortly for the Dragons with about 20 stitches in a head wound. That'll take some doing. He's got a headgear on, so he'll be back shortly. There's another lost ball for the Dragons. Ordinary mistake, 30 out from your own line. Going to take the scrum, or just standing around.
You go second.
Here's Hodgson going left, gets away from Fitzgerald. And Hookie was there with Bartram. Hindmarsh gets to the 20-metre line before being tackled. And Jason Cale, solid defence. Dylan Tracy. Butner, Solomona. Butner shaped the kick past the line. He was flat-footed. Tackle made by Gaznow. 10 out from the line, the Eels. Ryan, Solomona, quick hands, Vella. Hodgson had a gap there. Vella couldn't get it away. The defence wrapped him up. Now he does. Back to Hodgson. Dummies and steps off the left. Keeps it alive on the ground. Back to Vella. Bouncing away, still going Michael Vella. Was finally tackled. Last tackle here for the Eels. 8 metres out. Brad Drew with the ball. Grab a kick, knock on. Amos Roberts.
It was unfortunate for Roberts because he'd positioned himself perfectly. He trailed the ball across the back of the ruck. He saw where the kick was coming from, scooted across, got into good position. They brought Blacklock across with him. Unfortunately, not able to control it. Now we see, through successive knock-ons, Parramatta with a chance to drive a nail.
Here's Hodgson trying to get on the outside of Hookie. Back to line, away from Barrett, but not away there from Hooper, who makes the tackle. Butner acting half. PJ Marsh, Solomona. Nobody in support, goes himself. Straight through the tackle there of Hookie, still going, loses it again. And Riddell comes up with it for the Dragons. Must be spiders on it or something. Thompson slammed to ground. Now it comes to Tracy. 22 metres out. Here's Craig Smith back on the field. Headgear, straight, penalty. Courageous effort from the captain. There it is, he's got 20 stitches in that head cut. We've already lost Andrew Hart. Lance Thompson comes to the bench. 7-5, the Eels lead the penalty count. Here's Tracy. 40 metres out. Can the Dragons hit back? Craig Smith. Hard man to put down. He finally is by Kalis. Willie Peters inside to Riles, who was looking at the defence, and now Buton has picked the ball up because no one would cover up the mistake.
And Mark, a lot of these drop balls.
Here's Hindmarsh, Brett. He's over the halfway line. He's only got the fullback to beat. He gets away from Blacklock. Roberts is chasing. He almost scored. He's 9 metres out. The winger Moody couldn't catch him. Now it comes to Hodson. PJ Marsh is cut out. Here's Vella. Got Butner on his outside. So too Solomoni. They got the numbers. They go back to Butner. Pass on the ground. Hodson has to dive on it. Penalty against the Dragons. Inside the 10. Quick tap, Vella. They're still offside. He keeps it alive to Brad Drew. Now PJ Marsh kicks for who? For Blacklock. He was the only one there, but they keep him in goal.
Well, they were lucky to come up with a fine tackle in the in-goal area, but yeah, I just thought that was a bit premature putting the kick through there. This is great work by Nathan Hindmarsh. Very, very quick. Very strong runner with the football. As you say, he even had too much pace for the Parramatta winger.
A competition who didn't want to tackle him.
I was about to say, Mark, before he made the break, a lot of these drop balls are coming down to simple mistakes by players not keeping their eye on the football. I mean, even at this level, you've got to keep your eye on the rugby league ball, otherwise you will drop it, as we've seen here tonight.
22 metres out from the line, the Eels now with an opportunity through Butner. Solomona. Back towards the centre of the ruck. Crowd wanted to shepherd, but there was no one there to tackle him. 19 out. Drew from acting half. Ordinary pass. Kalis did well to take it.
Off the top, off the top. Off the top.
May have hurt him too. He's slow to his feet. I think it did. Now PJ Marsh looking inside, goes out to Butner, cut out ball to Lyon, tries to get on the outside of Peters, who hangs on. The arm was free, but Butner came too late. Last tackle here for the Eels. PJ Marsh, crossfield bomb. How did he take that, Daniel Wagon? It was like taking candy off a baby, and he scored the try. The Eels by 12, 18-6 with a kick to come.
It's something of a surprise. We don't see that too often anymore when a kick's put up and a bomb is planted, that we don't go to a replay. Both touch judges very confident that all the players were onside. It looked like Blacklock had it covered sprinting in. Just wasn't good enough to get past Daniel Wagon. They covered plenty of territory to get in this position though.
Well, he certainly did, and it was a case of the man that can jump the highest will take the football, and for Parramatta it was Daniel Wagon. A very good kick too by PJ Marsh. Hit the open spaces. They had plenty of pressure on the Dragons.
Blacklock was in a perfect position. He charged in from about 10 metres away. Good part with Wagon is he never took his eyes off the ball from the moment he started to attack it. But he had plenty of teammates around as well that gave him good support. Once again, the Dragons putting themselves under pressure. Knock-ons on their own line.
Of course, this is a change for the Eels because in recent history they've shown that the first 20 minutes they're letting tries get scored against them. Tonight, maybe they've changed.
First try for the Eels from a bomb this season. That's an amazing stat, 9 rounds into the competition. When you consider how important that kick on the last has become in one game. Is Hodson. This is an important kick. 14 the difference. If he gets it, he has. The Dragons now need to score 3 times because they trail by 14 points. You see the interchange. 20 points to 6, the Eels over the Dragons at Wynn Stadium.
And that 14-point gap will be one of 2 things. It'll either spark the Dragons into action, bring their game plan back together, or it'll force them to play even more panic football than they've got at the moment.
BJ Marsh playing the ball after the restart. An awkward pass there to Kalis. He did well. Andrew Ryan was the man that threw it. 30 out, Drew. Acting half. They go left. It's Ian Hindmarsh. There's Kalis. Vella, hard and straight. Riddell was waiting for him. 8 short of the halfway line. Sloppy play the ball. Drew did well to pick it up. Gets to the halfway line before the defence nails him. Last tackle here for the Eels. Hodgson gets the kick away from acting half. Under pressure from Hooper. Blacklock back to his goal line and slips over. And the chase was good from the Eels. A lot of work here for the Dragons, and they're slow to get back. As Amos Roberts takes a 10 out from his own line. First forward to have a hit up as Ainscough goes from acting half. Looks like it's going to be the captain here as the backs do the work. Hookie from acting half. Riles is there with Smith, but Ainscough goes again. Acting half running right from the goal line. Last tackle here. Now to Peters. Wrong foot's Hodgson, who has to go and get it, reach for it, and does well. On the outside of Fitzgerald. Moody slowed down because he had to go back and get the football. Hindmarsh. Ian, 10 short of halfway. Eels enter the field. They lead by 14. The other Hindmarsh, Nathan. 2 short of the halfway line. Another very slow play the ball. Now Kalis. Over the halfway line by about 5 metres. There's Butner. BJ Marsh had Solomona there. He was monstered by Craig Smith. Last tackle, Butner, little chip over the top, well read by Hooper, and he's picked it up immediately. Hammered there by Ian Hindmarsh. Craig Smith now. Solid run and great offload, but unfortunately he's got it back in an offside position. Should be a penalty. Penalty to Parramatta.
Well, nothing working for the Dragons at the moment. It was a good run by the skipper. Just tried to offload it back. Fortunately, canning off Gasnier Ford. That's really been the story of the night for the Dragons. The control of the football really has been very poor, and I think Smith himself would have to admit that that wasn't time or the place to go starting offloading the football, particularly when he didn't know exactly who was in support.
Even though Gasnier didn't play the football, Craig Smith did, and he was the man in the offside position. Now Butner, 20 metres out from the line. Drew from acting half. BJ Marsh, nobody there to pass to. So he takes the tackle. Riddell, right on the 20-metre line. Comes to Kalis. Gap closed as Hodgson was smashed straight away. Fitzgerald and Barrett making the tackle. He's lost the ball, he's hurt. Sean Hampstead asking the touch judge there where there was a head slam. The touch judge said no. Parramatta players aren't too happy.
Yeah, he's lost the ball.
Well, he's saying that he's lost the ball now.
He lost the ball.
He was knocked out?
He lost the ball.
What about the head slam?
Well, no one...
What?
I was there.
Well, I'm sure that the referee said before that he lost the ball after he hit the ground and he was deeming as the Dragons players were trying to claim it. Now it's changed. It must be a very game to referee. We've got to admit that the refereeing's not the best job. Parramatta players claiming there was a back slam involved. Well, you've got to say whether it's a back slam or whether it was actually just a push into the ground. Effectively, it's probably the same result. Barrett's arm coming into contact there. I'm fairly certain that that will be looked at in some way by the match review commissioner Jim Hall. Watson, he's not real sure what's going on.
You'd have to say that he'd lost the ball after his head hit the ground. He was injured, so they've got to surely just be a play the ball.
Well, he lost the football. I think the thing out of that is that Trent Barrett could be in a little bit of trouble, and if he's suspended with this tough few weeks they've got ahead of them, the Dragons, they could be in a bit of strife, because I think that Trent Barrett, the man on screen there, will have a nervous couple of days over Easter.
He's wanting more than chocolates, I'm sure.
Geez, I can't agree with this decision. I just think that the player lost the ball after his head had hit the ground. He didn't actually lose the ball while being tackled. He lost the ball once he'd hit the ground.
It's a tough one. I think it's either got to be St George's ball to play on, otherwise a penalty to Parramatta.
He's put down a scrum with the Dragons' feet.
There's nothing in the book that says just because a bloke is injured, he loses the ball, that knock-ons don't count. As Hodson comes from the field, we're waiting for a replacement. We've got nobody out there at the moment. Violecki is not allowed on the field. We're just waiting to see. Violecki's waiting to come on. They're calling him back now. Now he goes on the field, Violecki, as the Dragons win the ball and try and go wide. And Violecki almost comes in to make the tackle. There's confusion all around there. There's now Ainscough in possession. Down to 12 men there for a minute. .29 metres out from their own line. The Dragons. Smith. Straight through goes Riles. He comes to the halfway line. Willie Peters can't get there. And it's a great tackle there made by the man that's just come on, Violecki. Peters at acting half. Craig Smith trying to maintain the role that his team has been able to have from that great run from Jason Riles. Penalty. Still no one to the bin. He's in the play the ball.
Well, it's exactly what the Dragons needed, wasn't it? They've been having a lot of trouble breaking the line. The decision to take a quick tap.
Racing forward there is Riles again. Riddell from acting half. Here's Peters. Barrett. Tracy, well read there by Michael Buechner. Had nowhere to go, Darren Tracy. Now here's Peters. And out ball. Riles has lost it. It's gone behind though, I think. But it doesn't matter. The Eels have picked it up through Hindmarsh. He has dropped the ball a couple of times tonight, Jason Riles, but he has made a couple of good breaks. They'll certainly wipe out each other. Brad Drew is leaving the field via the dead ball line, and coming on Daniel Irvine. Here's Violecki. It's the 40-metre line. Penalty against the Dragons.
Still nobody being sent to the sin bin.
What's happened to the sin bin?
BJ Marsh. The restart to Nathan Hindmarsh.
I know it's easy to be critical. Easy to be critical of a referee, but he went out and he really put himself under pressure. He said, if this doesn't stop, I'm going to put somebody in the sin bin. I think that was about 45 minutes ago.
You leave yourself open, don't you, Wally, when you make the statement?
Well, the players, if they know that they're going to get away with it, they'll just keep you on it all night.
There's another mistake, this time from Kalis. On that occasion, Brett, as you were mentioning before, he just had a look.
You see, as I say, it doesn't matter what level. You can be in the highest level of the game. You've still got to keep your eye on the football. This is what these players are doing. And the kids watching the game, hopefully they'll realise that and learn that, yeah, even playing at first grade level, if you don't keep your eye on the ball, you're going to drop it.
Biggest crowd of the season for the Dragons at Wynn Stadium, 13,404. You can't fit too many more in here. There's now Gaznia. This tackle, 25 out from his own line. Ainscough, they're racing there to acting half. Now it comes to Barrett. This is Amos Roberts. Straight through the hands of Hookie to Blacklock. That was lucky. Blacklock tackled straight away by Moody. Ainscough comes from the left wing to give assistance on the right. 15 short of the halfway line. They go the short side. Hookie was almost on there. Keeps it alive. Back to Amos Roberts. Off the body of Parramatta. Went forward, play on. And that goes to Blacklock. Now Roberts at acting half. Ainscough to Barrett. Back on the inside to Bartram. Solomona wraps him up, and Bartram, want to be careful, he'll give away the penalty. Now it comes to Peters. Last tackle. Violecki under pressure, takes it well. And Bartram makes the tackle. 4 changes left for each side.
And a very disappointing part for the St George Illawarra Dragons on that case. They got themselves into good field position. It was quite a good kick that went up. There were 3 players that chased it right out towards the wing. Nobody in close to the ruck bothered.
Ian Hindmarsh. Tackle made there by Bartram. Still 14 points behind the Dragons. Just the 1 try they've scored tonight. Butner inside to Jamie Lyon. He offloads, keeping the ball alive, but the defence read it well. Another slope, Irvine's lost it, and he says he got it back. There's no doubt in my mind that he lost that, but it was because the St George blokes wouldn't get off him. And there's Irvine hit by Tracy. Now Roberts has lost that forward. That went forward. Referee and touch judge says it went back. I thought that went forward. Now Roberts bouncing away. Strange game tonight. Barrett, 29 out from his own line. Here's Craig Smith. Can he get the arms free? No. He's tackled, 12 metres short of the halfway line. Bartram, Hookie, went the kick, ricocheted off a leg, not played at, shouldn't be 6 to go. It's not. Andrew Hart has come back. I thought he would have come anywhere near a football field for a week after the way he went off. Now it comes to Barrett, kick through for Blacklock, well read Violecki. Peters taken out and back play. The crowd didn't like it, but Violecki's come back and taken it past Peters and past Roberts, and they've made the tackle with Darren Tracy. Great return from David Violecki. Now it's Solomona. 18 minutes to go, and there's 14 points the difference. They need to score shortly, the Dragons. And realistically, they don't look like it. From acting half, a yawning gap there closed as Smith went to his right and made the tackle there on Irvine. 20 metres out. Slow to his feet to play. Got a problem with that left leg. Butner, straight through the hands of Ian Hindmarsh. Tunnel ball there from line. Play on it. It went backwards and then kicked forward. Tracy picked it up by Roberts. I think the referee was going to rule a knock on there, but the Dragons have come up with possession. Ainscough from acting half. Line all over him. Lucky not to concede a penalty. Gaznia. Here's a penalty though. Quick kick from Barrett. Way downfield. It's a good one. And they have the ball now. 5 metres into Parramatta territory. Riles straight at Butner. Peters. It's Craig Smith. Over the 30 by about 3 metres, right in centre field. They go left or right. They come left through Barrett. Gives it to Riles. Tracy on his shoulder to Darren Tracy. Here's a chance. Gaznia steps off the left, can't get away from Butner. Been injured there, slow to his feet. Barrett. Willie Peters looking for runners, finds Bartram, unloads there to Amos Roberts. There to Hookie. inside to Blacklock. Still going Nathan Blacklock. Still going Blacklock. Now he straightens. Andrew Ryan makes the tackle with the assistance of Kalis. Now it comes to Barrett. Barrett, a great ball there to Riles into open space, and he's over for the try. We're going to the video referee though.
Well, the referee doesn't think that he's got the ball down. He's not going to please the fans here too much. They've gone up in front of our box. Very incensed that he even bothered to call from the replay, but he's got to be certain. Reached the ball out, and it's come off the leg. No try.
Trying to put the ball down there one-handed. On the other hand, trying to reach out. No doubt it came off the leg. Mr. Sean Hampstead was asking for the players to come back and wait for the decision. They've all just walked away and left him there. Chris Ward, the video referee.
Even the St George Illawarra players are lining up across the 30-metre line waiting for a 20-metre restart.
There it is. No try, 20-metre restart. And that's crucial for the Dragons. They score then and convert, it gives them a sniff.
Well, Mark, you've got to say that from the Eels' point of view, they'd have to be very happy with this first 20 minutes of this second half, because they've only conceded 2 points. As we mentioned before the game, it's been the bad period for them in the last 4 or 5 weeks, but while it hasn't been a great performance, they certainly have improved on recent performances.
Waialecki falling towards the halfway line. Smith making the tackle. There's Andrew Ryan. Strong run down the left-hand side of the field. That comes from PJ Marsh to Buettner. Buettner juggles straight in the hands of Darren Tracy. Then it was knocked down by Irvine.
Knock on.
And the referee's ruled a knock on. I think he was correct there. It went forward. But Irvine was away.
Well, he was correct, Mark, but I just can't understand why Darren Tracy thought it was necessary to pass the ball to a player who wasn't in a good position to accept it.
He's actually tried to knock the ball back, but it did travel forward. But he tried to knock it back, but not successfully. The Dragons now inside the final 15 minutes, and they trail by 14, so he's going to have to be close to a point a minute. As the completion rate has just got worse for the Dragons. And Wayne Bartram tried to run before he had the football. And both sides pretty even in that error count, and neither coach will be happy with that.
Hodgson feeling the effects. I don't think he'll take any further part in the game. Otherwise he shouldn't do. His team pretty comfortably in control at the moment.
Jamie Lyon tackled there by Amos Roberts. Buettner wrapping around there, Ian Hindmarsh. Good tackle, Gasnier. Andrew Ryan ends at Smith, who makes the tackle. 35 metres out from the line. There's Bartram. Was there a kick in there? He sent him off.
You're off. See you later. Good ball. You're off. See you later. You're sent off.
I think Bartram reacted. He copped something, but it certainly didn't need a boot coming back. He was involved in the tackle. There were 2 of them. He caught a boot, and I'm sure it was an accidental one that came from a Parramatta player in his endeavours to get to his feet for a quick play the ball. I think what we've just seen is the frustration that's on board the St George Illawarra camp at the moment. Nothing is going right.
Down to 12 men with 13 minutes to play, and they trail by 14. Buettner. Can the Eels drive it home quickly here? Wagon is tackled on the far side of the field. Kalis. Straight through the hands there. Jason Kalis to Nathan Hindmarsh. Now PJ Marsh, Butner, stepping past Tracy, still going, intercepted there by Amos Roberts. The only good thing really to come out of tonight's game for the Eels at this stage is the 2 competition points.
It's been a pretty ordinary performance from both sides, really. But as you say, the Eels are 14-point leaders at the moment and look like they will go home with the 2 points.
The Dragons, Bartram sent from the field by Sean Hampstead down to 12. Here's a penalty. Quick tap from Trent Barrett. Pushes away from line. Can't get away from Kalis, who makes the tackle. Waddell at acting half. Here's Leichvold. Spins before he hits the defensive line. 35 out. Here's Peters stepping, trying to look for a gap in amongst the forwards. There's none there. Andrew Ryan making the tackle. Isco with a floating pass to Lance Thompson. If there to be any chance, the Dragons, they need to score here. Ainscough from acting half, inside to Leichvold. Great ball to Thompson, hooky, quick hands Blacklock. Brings it back towards the centre of the field. Now accelerates through a gap, grabbed by the jumper by Jason Kalis. Otherwise he was over. Now here's Barrett. Kick. Here comes Gasnier, but Violecki sees it over the dead ball line. Acceleration there from Nathan Blacklock, almost got him through. He just grabbed him by the collar.
But he's happy that they're wearing the cotton ones. The old polyester before it led to the kick, clever kick through from Barrett, but really there were little opportunities available to him at that stage. The Dragons' only hope of attack at the moment seems to lie in individual brilliance or missed tackles.
There's Jason Riles. Holds on to the football. Leichvold. Good run over the 20-metre line. Waddell at acting half. Peters. Ball inside to Thompson. Keeps it alive to Blacklock. Blacklock is finally tackled. Far side of Wynn Stadium here in Wollongong. Now here's Barrett. Amos Roberts. Almost an intercept by Lyon. He knocked it down, and so a scrum will be packed down. If he'd taken that, it was a 70, 80-metre run to the goal line. Just trying to keep the ball alive, the Dragons. They need to put points on the board and put it on the board quickly.
Well, it's been a disappointing game, and I'm sure Parramatta coach Brian Smith won't be happy with some aspects of his team play here this evening. I believe that he'll be fairly content with what he's seen in the outside defence of his back line. They've slid very well, marked up on the occasions where they've had to.
Here's Barrett. Lucky bounce there for the Dragons. Almost through. Tackle made by Violecki and Moody on the far side. Thompson now. Back to Barrett. Ollie Peters. Jason Riles. Still a little bit flat-footed there at the moment, the Dragons. Here's Barrett. Leichvold's with him. He goes himself. Then he get the arms free. No. From acting half, Riddell. He's done this before. Can he get another one? He's held up and forced back. His first couple of tries in first grade at Shark Park came from that distance. Now it goes to Willie Peters. Had to wait for the pass. Inside to Riles. I don't know whether he was expecting it or whether it was for Leichvold. Now it comes to Hookie. He has nowhere to go either. Last tackle. Willie Peters now with the grubber kick off the leg of Hindmarsh. He does well. Straight up the middle. Will he have the pace? Ainsco's tracking him down. He looks around and stops. Here's Moody in support on the other side. He's still going. Where's Jamie Ainscow gone? And Riddell smashed him 25 metres out. What a fullback. One of the highlights of the game. Now it comes to a Wagon. Straight through Thompson. No, he comes again and grabs him. 12 metres out from the line, the Eels applying the pressure. PJ Marsh to Ian Hindmarsh. Marsh is everywhere. 10 metres out from the line. Irvine, Vella, keeps it alive, back to Irvine. He gets the ball down the line. Must score here, Wagon, over the top to Moody, and the Eels are in, and that is the ball game if there was any doubt. Jason Moody scores, and the Eels have the 2 competition points. 24-6 with a kick to come.
Simply nothing left at the end for the Dragons. They did well to scramble after Kalis's talented charge following his soccer skills, running plays inside out. Riddell, well, he eventually managed to catch up after Ainscoe had run down a couple of the opponents. What a hit! Get down there. Unfortunately, it only delayed the inevitable. Once again, it was a clever tip on and a very ordinary attempt at a tackle that led to the try. Basketball skills at the end. It could be used next door. A simple walk in the park for Jason Moody. The relation quite evident as they wrap the game up, but I'm sure even as the players leave the field, they'll know after hearing the hooter that they're about to get a dressing down from their coach.
Yeah, look, I'd hate to be critical of Nathan Hindmarsh after that great effort and that great run, but the reality is he did have 2 players on the outside. He could have made it a whole lot easier on his side by just unloading the pass. Instead he thought he'd throw the dummy, and it was a great tackle by Riddell. But as you say, Wally, it just slowed up the inevitable. It's just a case of keeping the ball alive.
PJ Marsh missing with the conversion attempt with Fred Hodgson on the sideline. So the score 24 points to 6. There's 5.5 minutes of play remaining.
How do you work out this competition?
I don't think the Eels have played a great deal better than they did last week against the Cowboys.
No, that's true. You look at the Dragons' performance, and they had some great victories over the last 3 weeks, and you would think that on form and at home you would tip them to win quite comfortably, and it's all been reversed.
If anything, I've seen the Eels display a lot more character and determination when desperation stakes on their line than they have in the last couple of weeks. It hasn't been much of a game, but they've still only conceded a single try throughout the course of the match.
Considering the form attacking-wise the Dragons have been in, that will please Brian Smith. Irvine from acting half, runs out of his boot, kicks to keep the ball alive. Sean Hampstead's there, but he can't pick it up. Here comes PJ Marsh. Lance Thompson gets there first. Roberts at acting half. There's Brian Smith down at the dugout. He's a little bit happier now than he would have been before. His side is going to pick up 2 valuable competition points. And I would imagine the Dragons coach, Andrew Farrar, has got some worries heading into some important games. Next week, the Dragons take on the Broncos in Brisbane. They could be without Wayne Bartram. And Wally, I'll have an Easter egg with you that they'll be without Trent Barrett.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see how the judiciary look upon that one. Not normally known as a player.
This bloke's been good since he's come on the field to replace Hodgson. Violecki playing at fullback. He's returned the ball well, and his defence has been good also. Butner looks for the long pass, now finds PJ Marsh. Can Moody get 2? He kicks for him. Hookie's there and knocks it over the touchline.
Well, I'm probably a little bit like Brett. I get a little bit confused why they try and use that kick, particularly early in the tackle count. Admittedly, they've got the Dragons' defence on the back foot, and it's good to try and surprise your opponent sometimes, but I just find that the way that they've controlled the game, it would have been a far better decision to take the tackle. They still had 3 to go. They've shown enough killer instinct to suggest that they may well have been able to post yet another try.
Trent Barrett inside to Amos Roberts. Can't get away from the defence. Straight ahead goes Darren Tracy. 25 out from their own line. The Dragons well beaten tonight at Wynn Stadium. And as I mentioned, a tough one next Saturday night against the Broncos. There's Riddell. He's been strong tonight for the Dragons defensively as well as in attack. Tangled bodies there. Gets to his feet and plays it. Willie Peters. This is Andrew Hart. Can't believe he's back on the field. Peters from acting half. Barrett. Little chip over the top. He'll get the football. PJ Marsh. He's been good tonight for the Eels. Done some great things. Set up that first try. Which got the Eels away. Ian Hindmarsh. 100 seconds to go. Wynn Stadium. From acting half. Moody almost through. Looking for a double. Couldn't get there. Pat Richards. Been a quiet night for him. Hardly seen the ball. He's lost it. Been plenty of mistakes tonight from both sides.
I think that's obviously the most disappointing feature about this match. I admit, I was travelling down here. I couldn't wait for the game to start. Looking at the Dragons' recent form and realising that the Eels really did have a point to prove. I thought it was going to be perhaps the match of the round, only beaten by the Broncos and the Roosters, I suppose, but fortunately it hasn't turned out that way.
His Hart inside the final 45 seconds in this game at Wynn Stadium. And the Eels will go back to Parramatta with 2 vital competition points. Blacklock's lost it. It's gone backwards. Peters now with Trent Barrett to Darren Tracy. Had the arms free. It's on the ground and Solomon has come up with it. Tracy wanted the penalty, but he tried to pass it. Now it comes to Pat Richards. Ainscough in front of him. Here's the kick. Gasnier is back there. Can he pick it up? He does well. This is Chris Lightvold. Inside the final 10 seconds, Riddell from acting half. Runs at Butner, makes the tackle. Should be just about full time. And there's the signal from referee Sean Hampstead. It is all over at the Wynn Stadium. The Parramatta Eels 24 have defeated St George Illawarra Dragons 6. It was 14-4 at half time in favour of the Eels, and it was 24-6 at full time. 4 tries to 1 difference in the end. And of course, Wayne Bartram sent from the field. Let's go down to the touchline. Here's Brett Kenny.
I've got with me Nathan Hindmarsh. And Nathan, it's always good to come away from home with a victory.
Yes, mate, especially down here. Only a Robbo boy, so I don't live too far from here. They cut me during one of the trials, so it's good to get one back on them.
Mate, you got off to a very good start, a good try early, set up by PJ Marsh, who I thought had an exceptional game at halfback.
Yeah, PJ's doing all right for us at the moment. I think we needed someone that really nice and zippy around the middle of the ruck, and he can duck and step the big fellas, which is good help for us.
Because it got a little bit sloppy in the first half there. As I said, you got away to a good start, but then you let the Dragons back in. There was a lot of drop balls.
I think we just tried to, once we got off to that good start, we're trying to score off every play instead of really going forward, making the yards, and towards the end of the set trying to score off that. So I think that's what we put down, a bit of sloppy play towards the end.
And I guess one of the most pleasing things is, I spoke to you last week, you mentioned the fact the first 20 minutes of every second half has been very poor for the Eels, but tonight you only had 2 points scored against them.
Yeah, that's right. We had a good long talk about that during the week, and then before the second half started, Smithy pulled us aside for about 2 minutes and said, look, this is where we're really weak. Started the second half, first 20 minutes, so we just went out there and kept the same intensity we did during the first half, and it helped.
Of course, you'll be looking forward to State of Origin. You'll be hoping to get selected in the side.
Yeah, I suppose every bloke's dream, really. Play the toughest footy in the world, so for me, it's a real good bonus for them.
Well, good luck. I think you deserve to get in there, but best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Nathan Hindmarsh there with Brett Kenny down the touchline. Showed plenty of pace tonight. Nathan Hindmarsh scored 4 tries, as I mentioned, the Parramatta Eels. Wayne Bartram sent from the field for an incident earlier. And Trent Barrett could be in a little bit of strife for an incident involving Brett Hodgson. which I'm sure will be looked at by the review committee during the week. Let's go back down to the touchline. Brett Kenny has Michael Butner.
Yeah, Michael, something that we noticed at half-time, you were topping the tackle count. What's happened there? We don't usually see you topping that.
Yeah, that wasn't my choice. They just kept running at me, so I didn't have too many options.
Good performance tonight. Probably wasn't the best performance by Parramatta, but I guess considering last week's coming away with a draw, it's a lot better now to come away with a win the following week.
Yeah, exactly, especially down here. It's a tough place to come down here and get 2 points. We're very happy with the performance. Obviously, there's things we've got to work on and things like that, but to keep a side like St George, the 6 points, considering they've had 40 the last 3 weeks they've scored, so it was a great effort from us defensively.
You said there's a few areas you've got to work on. I think one of them was possibly the marker area around the play of the ball. They seem to make a lot of metres up the middle there, the Dragons.
Yeah, that's right. I guess it probably come down to fatigue at times there. We're a bit tired at stages. So, yeah, that's certainly something we'll look at. But overall, I thought our defence was excellent tonight.
I thought the man inside you, PJ Mars, had an exceptional game tonight, back at his favourite position, halfback.
Yeah, he played very well. He had, I guess he had a point to prove tonight. He went out there and certainly did the job for us. He's got a fair bit of speed and he's pretty nippy around the ruck areas there. So he's a good asset for us.
Well, a great game tonight, going away with a good try, and let's hope they can perform again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Bert.
Thanks, mate.
Michael Butner there with Brett Kenny down on the touchline, the Parramatta number 6, and full time here at the Wynn Stadium. The Parramatta Eels 24, St George Illawarra 6. A break, and we'll come back and look at this game of rugby league with Wally Lewis.